Tomorrow, 115 cardinals begin the sanctified and secret process of electing the next pope.
I welcome you to our country, to the city of Manila, and to the Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception.
I cry easily, and I guess when you are before a great mystery, that is beyond you, calling, a grace, a mission, then you tremble, but at the same time you're happy.
Big news from the Vatican. Pope Francis has just unveiled a groundbreaking revelation about Cardinal Luis Tagle, one of the most influential figures in the Catholic Church today. From his remarkable rise in the Church to his pivotal role in shaping its future, Cardinal Tagle has been a symbol of hope, compassion, and reform. But what does this latest announcement mean for the Church's direction, and why is it making waves across the globe? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the truth Pope Francis has revealed and uncover how it could reshape the future of Catholicism as we know it. The relationship between Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle. The bond between Pope Francis and Cardinal Luis Tagle reflects a deep and intricate commitment grounded in shared beliefs, mutual respect, and a drive to reshape the Catholic Church's direction. Cardinal Tagle embodies values aligned with those of Pope Francis: simplicity, warmth, and a strong connection to the needs of the people. From the start of his papacy, Francis has aspired to create a church that prioritizes the poor. Tagle's work in Manila before becoming a cardinal brought this vision to life by reaching out to the marginalized and resonating with ordinary people. Pope Francis, drawing significant inspiration from Tagle, sees the clergyman's role as extending far beyond giving inspiring speeches. Their shared vision is a church that remains impactful even during challenging times. This collaboration reached new levels when Tagle was appointed prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples in 2019.
Pope Francis has appointed Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the new head of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples.
This role, often called the Red Pope, holds significant influence, granting oversight of missionary efforts across multiple continents. When Pope Francis selected Tagle for this crucial position, he subtly indicated his trust in Tagle to advance Catholic evangelization, particularly in regions like Asia, Africa, and Latin America, areas poised to shape the Church's future. Their connection extends beyond professional responsibilities. Tagle's values align closely with the principles Pope Francis has long championed. Both leaders emphasize kindness over rigid doctrine, dialogue over division, and action over words. Their shared encounters with resistance from traditionalist groups have strengthened their resolve to promote a vision of a church centered on love. The humility and compassion that define Tagle's leadership mirror the ideals upheld by Pope Francis. Tagle's humanitarian and evangelization efforts. In 2013, during Typhoon Haiyan, Tagle's swift response and heartfelt compassion during the disaster portrayed him as a true leader of the Church of Mercy, aligning with the vision Pope Francis had encouraged. Beyond his humanitarian efforts, Tagle's expertise in theology, particularly his focus on inclusive evangelization, has positioned him as an influential figure for progressive Catholics globally. Pope Francis has repeatedly emphasized that leadership in the Church cannot remain limited to clerical circles, but must actively reach out to those who are overlooked and abandoned. Recent remarks by Pope Francis have reignited discussions about Tagle's standing within the Vatican. While the Pope has not explicitly revealed his long-term plans for the Cardinal, their coordinated efforts suggest a strategic purpose. From his beginnings in Manila to his prominent role on the global stage, Cardinal Luis Tagle is a compelling figure whose life reflects purpose and dedication. Born in 1957 in the Philippines, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's life journey reflects a profound connection to his community, a steadfast commitment to serving the marginalized, and a deep devotion to his faith. Reflecting on his formative years, he shared, "One of the earliest memories of myself is, as a little boy leading a whole community and praying the rosary. Yes, my parents, especially my mother, taught us how to pray the rosary. This heartfelt recollection underscores the spiritual foundation nurtured by his family, which shaped his values and outlook on life. From an early age, Tagle displayed exceptional intellect, a compassionate heart, and an unwavering dedication to his faith. His decision to study theology marked the beginning of a remarkable journey of service and leadership within the Catholic Church. After years of academic excellence and pastoral ministry, he emerged as one of the most respected voices in the global Catholic community, known for his humility and deep empathy for the poor. In 2011, his leadership path reached a significant milestone when he was appointed Archbishop of Manila, one of the most prominent positions in the Philippine Catholic Church. As Archbishop, he became a beacon of hope and inspiration, advocating for social justice, interfaith dialogue, and a renewed focus on caring for the least fortunate. His life and ministry continue to inspire countless individuals around the world, demonstrating the power of faith and compassion to create meaningful change. A visionary leader in global Catholicism.
Overseas Filipino workers have praised the appointment of Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Tagle as Cardinal. A priest adds Tagle's new role will be a challenge.
Taking charge of one of the largest Catholic dioceses in the world, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle quickly established himself as a reformist, earning recognition for his humility, compassion, and forward-thinking leadership. Unlike some of his predecessors, Tagle rejected materialism and the trappings of power often associated with high-ranking church officials. Instead, he focused on revitalizing the church's mission to serve its people, especially the marginalized, through missionary work, advocacy for social justice, and fostering a sense of inclusivity. His deeply moving and relatable sermons, often drawing on the struggles and hopes of ordinary people, resonated widely, leading many to affectionately call him Asia's Francis. Tagle's rise to international prominence was propelled by a series of key appointments that underscored his growing influence within the Vatican and the global Catholic community. In 2015, he was elected president of Caritas Internationalis, a global confederation of Catholic charitable organizations operating in 165 countries. Under his leadership, Caritas launched numerous initiatives tackling poverty, hunger, and climate change, reflecting Tagle's belief in a church that actively addresses the world's most pressing issues. His tenure was marked by his ability to unite people across cultural and ideological divides, making him a symbol of hope and renewal in a rapidly changing world. In 2019, Tagle reached another significant milestone when Pope Francis appointed him prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, a position that placed him at the forefront of the Church's mission to spread the gospel globally. This role required him to oversee evangelization efforts, particularly in non-Western regions such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America, where the Church has been experiencing significant growth. Tagle's deep respect for cultural diversity and his empathetic approach to understanding the unique challenges faced by these communities set him apart as a visionary leader. One of Tagle's defining qualities is his ability to blend diplomacy with a profound understanding of theology. His leadership style is characterized by a commitment to dialogue, collaboration, and strategic thinking, making him uniquely equipped to navigate the complexities of the modern church. Whether addressing issues of economic inequality, environmental degradation, or the need for interfaith dialogue, Tagle consistently emphasizes the importance of compassion and solidarity. His influence extends far beyond his administrative roles. Tagle has become a symbol of the Church's renewed focus on serving humanity and fostering unity in an often divided world. As he continues to lead global initiatives and inspire countless individuals, his legacy serves as a testament to the enduring power of faith, humility, and a steadfast commitment to justice and mercy. Cardinal Tagle's leadership changes at Caritas Internationalis. Cardinal Luis Tagle's tenure as president of Caritas Internationalis was a defining chapter in the history of the Catholic Charity Network, bringing unprecedented transformation and expanding its global influence. Tagle steered Caritas into becoming a more dynamic and responsive entity, equipped to confront the most pressing humanitarian crises of our time. His leadership exemplified a seamless integration of operational efficiency and spiritual conviction, ensuring that the organization's mission of mercy and compassion remained at the forefront. Transparency and inclusivity became cornerstones of Tagle's leadership. He instituted mechanisms to ensure that funds and resources were utilized with the utmost accountability, fostering greater trust among stakeholders and donors. Additionally, he placed a strong emphasis on grassroots empowerment, advocating for local communities to take an active role in identifying challenges and crafting solutions. This participatory approach not only bolstered Caritas's effectiveness, but also strengthened the dignity and self-reliance of the people it served. A hallmark of Tagle's presidency was his commitment to interfaith dialogue and collaboration. Recognizing the power of collective action, he built partnerships with religious and secular organizations alike, leveraging their combined expertise to address shared humanitarian concerns. His efforts fostered a spirit of unity, even in the face of cultural and ideological divides, underscoring the universal nature of Caritas's mission. These partnerships also enabled Caritas to extend its reach, bringing assistance to regions where cooperation with local religious leaders was vital to gaining trust and facilitating aid delivery. Tagle's leadership at Caritas extended beyond addressing immediate crises. It also involved advocating for systemic changes on the international stage. He played an active role in discussions on climate justice, urging policymakers to consider the disproportionate impact of environmental degradation on vulnerable populations. He also championed economic reforms that addressed structural inequalities, pushing for a global commitment to fairness and equity. A church for the margins. Under Pope Francis's guidance, the Catholic Church has entered a new chapter, emphasizing outreach to those often overlooked, described as a church for the poor. This vision has been strengthened by Cardinal Luis Tagle's collaboration. Together, they promote values of justice, kindness, and compassion, aiming to transform the Church's relationship with society. Pope Francis's unwavering commitment to those on the margins reflects his belief that the Church must serve as a sanctuary for the outcasts, the oppressed, and the forgotten. This vision aligns seamlessly with the work of Cardinal Luis Tagle, who, as president of Caritas Internationalis, has spearheaded numerous initiatives aimed at addressing some of the world's most pressing challenges. Under his leadership, Caritas has launched programs to combat hunger, provide housing and support for refugees, and address the increasingly urgent issues of climate change and environmental degradation. Tagle's success lies not only in his ability to secure resources, but also in his capacity to inspire action and unity across diverse communities. His leadership reflects a unique combination of strategic thinking, compassionate outreach, and spiritual wisdom, earning him recognition as a key figure in the Church's charitable and humanitarian efforts. One of the cornerstones of his approach is his profound belief in the power of listening. If you listen, you dispose yourself to love, and those who love will not get tired of listening, Cardinal Tagle once said, encapsulating his philosophy of service and empathy. For Tagle, listening is not just a passive act, but an active and transformative process. He believes that by truly hearing the stories and struggles of others, hearts are open to love, and love becomes the driving force behind action. His approach departs from traditional top-down authority, favoring instead a model rooted in dialogue, understanding, and inclusivity. Tagle makes a deliberate effort to amplify the voices of those on the margins, ensuring their experiences and perspectives inform the Church's mission and priorities. This emphasis on listening and dialogue has become a hallmark of Tagle's leadership. Whether engaging with refugees, addressing climate justice, or advocating for the poor, he demonstrates a deep respect for the dignity and humanity of every individual. His ability to connect with people from all walks of life, coupled with his unwavering commitment to social justice, has positioned him as a transformative leader in the Catholic Church, one who embodies Pope Francis's vision of a church that walks alongside the most vulnerable. However, This focus on the peripheries has not gone without criticism. Some argue that prioritizing social issues may overshadow core Catholic teachings. Critics have accused Pope Francis and his allies, including Tagle, of straying from traditional values in favor of political correctness. Yet, both Francis and Tagle have remained steadfast, recognizing that addressing modern challenges is vital for the Church to maintain its relevance. Beyond his humanitarian work, Tagle plays a key role in advancing Pope Francis's vision. His dedication to fostering interfaith dialogue highlights the Church's commitment to building bridges in an increasingly fragmented world. Engaging with people of different faiths fosters mutual respect and understanding, embodying the core message of unity and compassion promoted by Pope Francis. Together, Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle are working to create a church that is more connected to the people it serves. In many ways, the foundations of a renewed Catholicism are being laid before our eyes. A silent tug of war. Behind the outward appearance of unity and devotion, an ongoing quiet struggle for authority has always been present within the Roman Catholic Church. At the Vatican, where tradition meets the challenges of modern culture, these tensions manifest through clashing ideologies. The ongoing differences between reformists like Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle and the more conservative factions create a compelling dynamic of unspoken conflict. Pope Francis has introduced significant changes during his papacy, challenging clericalism, advocating for a more decentralized church, and addressing complex issues such as migration, climate change, and financial accountability.
Moving on, issuing a stark warning, the head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City-State has said that the earth will become uninhabitable if there is no concrete action taken on climate change.
Despite these efforts, significant challenges have emerged. Certain ultra-conservative factions and groups within the Church of Rome have voiced strong objections, denouncing these changes as a radical departure from the teachings of the Bible. Cardinal Tagle's active role in the Vatican highlights this particular aspect of the ongoing power struggle. While his vision aligns with Pope Francis's idea of a merciful church focused on the marginalized, Tagle's rise has not been met with universal approval. His practical approach to leadership, emphasizing dialogue and participation, contrasts sharply with more traditional views of Catholic theology. This has led to heightened expectations and questions about the challenges the Church's leadership may face moving forward. One of the central aspects of this internal struggle involves financial oversight. Pope Francis's reforms to clean up the Vatican's financial operations have stirred significant controversy. As a key figure in managing charitable initiatives, Tagle supports these reforms, advocating for greater transparency and improved accountability. However, his efforts have also put him at odds with entrenched power groups determined to protect their interests. The question of succession adds another layer of complexity to these dynamics. While Pope Francis has not indicated his choice for a successor, the growing prominence of Tagle and other figures sparks speculation about the Church's future direction. Conservatives may seek to advance candidates who would halt or reverse reforms implemented by Pope Francis. This behind-the-scenes contest reflects the broader struggle over who will shape the Church's leadership. These conflicts are not confined to the Vatican, but extend to dioceses worldwide, influencing how local leaders address issues within their communities. Many traditionalist forces remain active, but the ongoing reforms, exposing the increasing divide between unity and traditional Catholicism, have become a defining feature of this era in the Catholic Church. A visionary amid turmoil. Cardinal Luis Tagle's journey within the Catholic Church is far from complete. This influential cardinal has already left a lasting impression. He represents a Catholicism that stands with the poor and marginalized, advocates for human rights, respects immigrants, and champions the oppressed in his homeland. For progressive Catholics around the world, Tagle is seen as a beacon of hope. Yet he carries this influence while navigating deep-rooted internal and external challenges faced by the Church. One of Tagle's greatest strengths lies in his ability to connect with people from all backgrounds. Whether addressing a crowd in Manila, or serving as a papal representative, Tagle's humility and approachable nature make him resonate deeply with those he meets. Many have longed for the shepherd-like leadership he embodies, which contrasts with the more rigid institutional approach often associated with the Church. By promoting a faith that is open and emotionally resonant, Tagle has positioned himself as a transformative figure in the evolving Catholic Church. Still, this reputation is being shaped amid significant instability. As the number of priests and church representatives continues to decline in Europe and North America, the faithful in Asia and Africa are steadily increasing. This demographic shift presents both opportunities and challenges, as it expands the Church's reach, but complicates the task of serving a diverse and widespread congregation. Tagle, being a non-Westerner, brings a deep understanding of non-Western cultures, making him particularly suited to navigate these complexities. Tagle is also known for his ability to blend tradition with contemporary needs. Among the many roles he has taken on, his work in fostering interfaith dialogue and addressing climate change stands out as an example of his commitment to bridging the past with the demands of the present. Social justice and modern issues have highlighted Tagle as a leader prepared to engage with contemporary challenges, but this approach has not been without its critics. Some conservative voices within the Church have accused him of moving away from doctrinal priorities, reflecting the tensions that define this era of Catholic leadership. How well Tagle navigates these competing pressures will ultimately shape his legacy. As changes continue to unfold within the Catholic Church, the question of leadership becomes ever more significant. The progress initiated under Pope Francis requires leaders who can carry it forward and ensure the Church remains vibrant in the years to come. Tagle's growing influence within the Vatican and his alignment with Francis's vision position him as a potential key figure in shaping the Church's future. However, the question remains: will his vision resonate with a global and often deeply divided Catholic community? Much has been said about Cardinal Tagle's contributions, which are still evolving. The challenges he faces are significant, as he operates within a system steeped in traditions and regulations, all while adapting to a rapidly changing world. His ability to inspire hope, become a unifying force, and foster connections will ultimately define his place in the Church's history. Tagle's prominent rival for the papal throne. Among the many names considered potential successors to Pope Francis, Cardinal Pietro Parolin stands out as one of the strongest rivals to Cardinal Luis Tagle. Parolin currently holds the role of Vatican Secretary of State, a high-ranking position that places him in charge of managing the Vatican's diplomatic relations and administrative operations.
In a few days, I will accompany the Holy Father to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the South Sudan.
In addition to being a cardinal, Parolin has extensive experience that positions him as a leading contender for the papal seat. Unlike Tagle, whose focus leans toward pastoral care and reform, Parolin's background is rooted in diplomacy, earning him recognition for his conservative stance before his entry into the Senate of Bishops. Coming from Italy, Parolin represents the core of Catholic tradition. Faced with modern societal challenges, Parolin has gained the trust of traditionalists through his role as Secretary of State, where he has skillfully managed the Church's complex international relations while maintaining its global influence. While Tagle is seen as a figure close to the Church's margins, Parolin is often regarded as a strategist who understands and navigates the intricacies of the Vatican hierarchy. Another notable trait of Parolin is his ability to mediate between various groups within the Church. He has consistently worked to address concerns on all sides, favoring balanced and moderate solutions in contentious matters. This talent for managing internal Church politics appeals to those who prefer gradual change over radical reform. However, critics argue that Parolin's approach lacks the innovation needed to address the pressing challenges of a rapidly changing world. The contrast between Tagle and Parolin highlights the broader tensions within the modern Church. Tagle champions a progressive model of leadership that emphasizes inclusion, compassion, and a people-centered focus. Meanwhile, Parolin embodies the Vatican's traditional and diplomatic approach to governance. For many, this difference raises vital questions about the Church's future direction and the qualities most essential in its next leader. Parolin's prominence also underscores the enduring influence of Italian clergy within the Vatican's bureaucracy. For centuries, the papacy has been predominantly led by Europeans, especially Italians. While Pope Francis's election marked a departure from this tradition, Parolin's candidacy suggests a potential return to it. This dynamic introduces another layer to the succession debate, reflecting the ongoing tension between maintaining tradition and embracing a new direction within the Church. Despite their different paths, both Tagle and Parolin share a strong dedication to the Church's mission. Their distinct approaches, however, frame the broader contest for leadership, offering insight into the challenges of selecting the next pope. As speculation about Pope Francis's successor continues to circulate, the rivalry between Tagle and Parolin reflects the broader struggles shaping the Church's direction. Cardinal Tagle as a potential successor. Cardinal Luis Tagle's potential to succeed Pope Francis is rooted in his steadfast commitment to the marginalized and his embodiment of a church for the poor. Throughout his ministry, he has prioritized compassion, inclusivity, and outreach to the oppressed, distinguishing himself as a leader who brings the Church closer to those in need. As president of Caritas Internationalis, Tagle spearheaded global efforts to address hunger, poverty, and disaster relief, demonstrating his ability to lead large-scale humanitarian initiatives. His grassroots approach aligns seamlessly with Pope Francis's vision, bridging gaps between the Church and its most vulnerable communities. Tagle's appointment as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples highlights his leadership in guiding the Church's global mission. By adapting strategies to local cultures, Tagle has ensured that evangelization efforts are not only effective, but also deeply respectful of regional traditions. His ability to navigate the complexities of evangelization in these diverse contexts underscores his readiness to lead the Church in addressing its evolving global demographics. A unique strength of Tagle's leadership lies in his capacity to harmonize the Church's rich traditions with the demands of modern times. Deeply rooted in theology, he respects established practices while promoting dialogue and inclusion. His dedication to interfaith relations reflects his desire to foster unity in an increasingly fragmented world. By engaging with pressing issues like climate change and social justice, Tagle embodies a vision of leadership that is both spiritually grounded and forward-thinking. As the Church's influence grows in regions like Asia and Africa, Tagle's cultural awareness and global perspective position him as an ideal candidate to lead an international church. His journey from the streets of Manila to the Vatican's highest ranks showcases his deep understanding of both local struggles and global challenges. With humility, charisma, and an innate ability to connect with people across divides, Tagle could serve as a unifying force for a polarized world. If chosen as Pope, he would symbolize the Church's commitment to diversity and compassion, all while maintaining its core mission of service. Do you think Cardinal Luis Tagle could be the next Pope? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more content, and check out one of the 2 videos on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.